Welcome back. This is Erica, and thank you for joining me again for episode 3 of Go Go Gospel. I did leave the trivia question earlier on a short. You can check that out if you like, but I will repeat myself for everybody. And today we will be discussing Women of the Cross, okay? The question of the day. What were the names of the 4 women who stayed at the cross while Jesus was being crucified? Okay, I'm going to read from my little Bible trivia devotional. It is a remarkable thing that the multitudes of people that had flocked around Jesus for the last few years of his life scattered at his trial and crucifixion. Only a few followers remained at the cross. John tells us in his gospel that 4 women stayed with Jesus to the bitter end. They included Jesus' own mother, whose name is Mary, Jesus' aunt, another woman named Mary, the wife of a man named Clopas, and Jesus' close follower, Mary Magdalene. Their resiliency was certainly only matched by their grief. When Jesus saw his mother, his heart broke. How devastating this had to be for her. While he hung on the cross, Jesus also saw his beloved disciple, John. The reference to John, the disciple, as the beloved, in my opinion, is questionable, but that will be a topic of discussion for another episode. Referring to John, Jesus said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Likewise, he said to John, "Behold your mother." We are given a note in the passage that tells us John took Mary into his own household to care for her. The verse that the book provides is, "Beside the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene." That is John chapter 19, verse 25. The answer to the question from the trivia book. Now, remember, it says names of the 4 women. Just want to point that out. The answer, Jesus' mother, whose name is Mary. His aunt, whose name is, you guessed it, Mary. Clopas' wife, Mary. And Mary Magdalene. Okay, so now we're going to read from the King James Version of John chapter 19, verse 25. And, okay. Now, there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by whom he loved, aka the beloved, he saith unto his mother, "Woman, behold thy son." Then saith he to the disciple, "Behold thy mother." And from that hour, that disciple took her unto his own home. Now, as far as I know, or have read and learned and listened, all these women, the 4 Marys, very popular name apparently. So you have Mother Mary, and you have Aunt Mary. So, sisters, both named Mary. Which, you know, if you think about it with men, they do juniors and, you know, the first, the second, the third. So it's not completely strange that her sister's name is also Mary. And then the wife of Clopas, and of course, Mary Magdalene. In the King James Version, they do not mention the name John, who would be, you know, popular opinion, the beloved, the disciple who is also nicknamed the beloved here, whom he loved. And my opinion, my humble opinion, the beloved disciple is Mary Magdalene. That only makes sense. Not to say that the beloved could not have been a male. However, John's not even mentioned here. We're left to assume that, and somewhere along the lines, like I said, the popular opinion became that whenever the beloved or whom he loved was referred to, it was referring to John the disciple. And like the Marys, there's a lot of Johns. John the Baptist, John the Revelator. And when I was younger, I was taught to understand that at least John the Disciple was John the Revelator, and the beloved who took Mary with him after Jesus was crucified. And in this passage, Jesus, you know, speaks to Mary and says, thy son. So we would imagine it's not referring to Mary Magdalene. I think it's not very difficult to take a reference and shift it over to another name. Again, my opinion. I digress. Okay. So, the answer to the original question, the 4 women who stayed with Jesus as he was being crucified to the bitter end, Mary, 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 and the beloved, John. That's it. That's my story for today. Well, not my story, but my commentary. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope to see you again for the next episode. Any comments, questions, whatever, please leave a comment. I look forward to that. And I shall see you again. I hope a lot, you know. I hope you click subscribe. Bye now.